The Correctional Services Department is hosting a 2-day summit where they are planning to review the South African parole system. This after there's been some issues that have been raised, especially by families. We know that about a week ago, Lee Matthews' murder actually came under the spotlight, especially after he was granted parole, but the family is saying that the sentence was too lenient. I'm actually joined now by Mr. Miles Bhudu, one of the activists for the prisoners, to elaborate on what he feels about this particular 2-day summit. Mr. Bhudu, thank you so much for your time. I was just talking to you earlier that recidivism is one of the words that are being bandied about. Your reaction to what's been said is one of the cause for this particular summit to take place.
Well, they call it the revolving door syndrome, recidivism. Well, the Department of Correctional Services is now on the right track. It's 31 years down the line. It is not only the parole regime and the release policies that needs real reform. It is, in fact, what the Department of Correctional Services has come to be about. But I'll take you back to the 23rd and the 24th of July 2015. That's almost 10 years ago, where there was a gala ex-offenders conference, where they brought ex-offenders from all over the country to discuss what today has again stick out its ugly head: recidivism, overcrowding, parole systems, and so forth. Our call as a prisoners' rights organization and as an activist in good standing for prisoners' rights, let's go back to what those recommendations says. There are 9 of them. They talk about the victims, they talk about government involvement, they talk about private sector involvement, they even talk about community involvement. And of course, they talk about the establishment of an umbrella body for prisoners and ex-offenders organizations, so that you do not leave the Department of Correctional Services to grapple around with education, training, skills development to get to the buzzword rehabilitation with the intention to reintegrate you. They cannot do it alone. Here we are. There are many Golden Miles Bhudus. There are many of us who wanted to do something, but it is never too late. We are out there, we are in the cold, and of course, we've got a lot of skills, we've got a lot of passion, and some of us are very loyal. Let's make the Department of Correctional Services to understand it's now or never to do the right thing. To be released on parole and sent to nobody's land. I'm telling you, within no time, you fall back into the criminal justice system net. Now, one is wondering, as a conspiracy theorist, is it really going to be in the interest of the country to educate, to train, to rehabilitate and reintegrate of ex-offenders, and yet you want them to come and get involved in the revolving door syndrome? They will tell you, those who are well educated, that crime and violence and all the other things that we see happen here contribute to the GDP of a country. You know, so I'm excited. The minister, the deputy minister, the national commissioner, and the chairperson of the portfolio committee are here, and they are listening, and I hope they will go to Parliament and work towards reforming, transforming, and in fact embedding the system of correctional services so that it align with the constitution of this country.
Absolutely. And we know that there's been some controversies surrounding high-profile politicians who have been granted medical parole, yet they are still in good health, even now, years after they were actually granted that parole. Do you believe that this 2-day summit can address matters such as those?
Well, those aspects should have been addressed. I mean, as an organization, we have been screaming and yelling about certain high-profile prisoners who get first preferences because they've got deep and long pockets. Now, for as long as the department are not going to rope in ex-offenders organizations and organizations of prisoners and not rely on what they have established, because what they have established, they can dictate terms to them. NPOs who are independent, you cannot dictate terms to us. We will use the book, we will use the white paper, the Correctional Services Act, and the Constitution.